His cigarette barely was lit. I turned around as soon as I heard the lighter flick. I turned around, I was like, yo, no, don't, you can't smoke in here. And he put it right out. A little piece of smoke hit the smoke detector, and the whole building went off. So one time I had a session downstairs in C. Now, I wasn't really an engineer who often worked in C. I often worked in A or B. Especially this room. This room right here was my home. I was in this room 70 hours a week. And when I went downstairs, I was working with a new group of artists that I had never worked with before. And I had told them right when we got down there, there's no smoking in the studio at all. One of their friends was so drunk, he obviously didn't hear me, and he quickly just lit up the tip of a cigarette. And this is how crazy this building is, and I didn't even know it was this bad. His cigarette barely was lit. I turned around as soon as I heard the lighter flick. I turned around, I was like, yo, no, don't, you can't smoke in here. And he put it right out. A little piece of smoke hit the smoke detector, and the whole building went off. Well, we go outside, and now everybody from the building upstairs that was staying here, I didn't know, that was linked all together. So when the alarm went off, everybody that was linked, or that was a part of the old company Red House that was here, they had actors upstairs in the condos, and they literally were coming outside like, what is going on? Oh my God, it's so late at night. Because it was about 12:31 in the morning. And now everybody's outside waiting for the fire trucks to come just to press a button and shut the alarm back off. And yeah, the studio got an email about that the next day. I had to apologize to everybody, but that was really a situation where I was like, I had no control of that. The dude behind me was so drunk, but I was embarrassed as hell. Everybody had to leave out there. So yeah, if you guys here, don't light up in the building. Trust me, you'll regret it.
Future smoked, and I just learned a little TJ smoked in there.
Ready? I'll tell you why. And they had to pay a fine for that. They tell the label you have to pay an extra $1,000. Ready?
That.
There's this. Okay, so this building.
It's not as though the alarms went off.
No, go ask around why they have to pay a fine. I promise you, he'll tell you. Jeremy told me why. When Jeremy worked here, so Jeremy told me that when Future came to do that session, they paid because they fine you from the firehouse. This place is linked directly to a firehouse. As soon as that alarm goes off, the firehouse goes off.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right.
That is like corporate level, fucking like alarm system shit. So you have to pay a fine if it's disconnected, because if something were to happen in between that.
Oh, they disconnected it.
Yeah, they have to put in a code out front. Bro, I'm not even kidding. Yeah, so that's why they have to charge the people, because the cleaning fee and then also the other fee.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, I learned that because Jeremy had told me about it with that, because I asked him, I was like, how do you let him smoke here? He's like, oh, you have to pay a fine for that. And I was like, damn. So they just type in a code out there and it shuts off the system.
Well, shit.
Yeah. All right. But I mean, see, every studio in Tampa, for instance, even if it's a studio like this, you can smoke in it because they have systems where one is an outtake and one's an intake.
Yeah.
And then the intake is going to a filter.
Right.
So it, like ours in our studio, we have the filter in the room. Yeah. Like it's just like a humidifier type thing. Right. But that helps a bit. And then our ACs also have a in and out. So like, therefore, when you walk outside of the studio, you can smell it a lot. But like when you go into the studio, sometimes like out in the front lobby, unless somebody literally just walked through with a blunt, you don't smell it. Yeah. So here's a funny one. So one time I had a client who had never come here, and he went in the booth. And now, if you guys don't know, in the booths we have a headphone mixer box, which is for you artists to have your own mix in your headphones that we don't have to hear in the control room. It can be completely different. You could have the beat turned all the way up and your vocals turned all the way down. We'll hear whatever we want to hear in here. So this guy, I walk him in the booth. I show him how that works. I come back out here. I size up the mic with him. I come out here. I start recording. I'm playing the beat. There's like 4 of us in here. I'm recording. We don't hear nothing. We think he's got the headphones on. So we're thinking he's just sitting there listening and trying to like come up with a verse. His verse goes through, goes to the hook again. So I re-record another verse. He's going through. He's not doing nothing again. 2 more times do that. And I stop. I'm like, hey. And he's not saying at the back. I'm talking to the talkback like, hey. And he's like, oh, are you talking to me? I was like, the heck? And I walked in there. He's like, yeah, I couldn't hear nothing. I looked down. His headphones weren't even plugged into the box. He had stepped on it and unplugged it from the box. And so the whole time he's sitting there, he's not hearing anything because headphones simply aren't connected. So I was like, and the beat was playing still. So he goes, "Oh, I can hear it now." And I was like, "Yeah, bro." I was like, "You had to have that plugged in. They're not Bluetooth." Like, that was a funny day. I came back in here, everyone was dying laughing. Like, this dude just had it playing 4 times with the beat, or with the headphones not even plugged in. Like, bro, what were you even doing in there? I was geeking. It was hilarious. That was too funny. Bro, he's just standing there like... And he was bobbing his head to the beat.
To figure it out, though.
He was bobbing his head to the beat, though. That was the craziest part. I didn't have it loud, and he's bobbing his head to the beat. Bro, you can't hear from room to room. I didn't have it loud. Like, so how are you bobbing to the beat, but yet you don't have the headphones on, or they're not even plugged in, they weren't even plugged in. I'm like, he was just imagining what the beat was doing, and just kind of like, because you could not hear it in there. When I went there, you couldn't hear the beat, and it was still playing. So I was like, bro, that's crazy. That was insane. That was a funny, funny day. But that's what happens when artists come from a low-level studio to a higher-level studio, and they see all the stuff. They get nervous, and they're like, I don't want to touch this, and I don't want to touch that. And then you get situations like that where they're just like, oh, I didn't even know. Because they're just used to a headphone wire going through a wall. And that's that.